checking the flags, making sure we don't have a tip up. Out on the ice in northern Wisconsin, pike fishing this afternoon on a really cold day, a lot of wind. It's a cold front. It's got the fish pushed down a little bit, but we're still getting some action. Why are we getting action? Because we're not relying upon our tip-ups to get our fish on top of the ice. What we're doing is fishing with hard baits and jigs. The hard bait we're using is a Lindy darter. The pike seem to almost get mad at this thing. This is probably it is the best pike bait I've ever fished with. What this bait does, it rattles very loud, and when you drop it down the hole, you see the bait just sitting there. When you pull it, it darts completely out of the field of view of the camera, then it settles back in. It darts out of the field of view of the camera, it settles back in. Darts out of the field of view of the camera and settles back in. That's when they hit it, when it stops like that. Every time you jig it like that, give it that rip, it vibrates real hard and then rattles. And the pike just come in and smoke it. It's a lot of fun to use. Second lure that I'm using today, we've had some pretty good action on that. I just had a pike, pretty good one, up to the top of the hole and lost it. There's a slick jig. Slick jig comes in sizes from micro up to absolute perfect size for pike. I've got it teamed up today with a sucker. I'm not using a real big slick jig because we're also fishing walleyes, and we're only in about 4 to 5 feet of water. What this lure does, the cool part about the slick jig teamed up with live bait like that, when you put it down the hole, it holds the live bait this way. So instead of having a regular jig where the minnow's like this, the minnow's like this. All it's got to do is just keep swimming. And when you jig the slick jig, much like the darter, when you jig it, it'll dart anywhere from 6 inches to a foot out to the side. See how much movement that has? Now when I stop it, that minnow's level, right where it should be. Very effective lures. If you're going to take the time to go fishing on a cold front and fish for negative pike, what you need to do is get yourself a slick jig, arm it with a small walleye sucker or a small shiner, and get yourself some northerns.